So you just got eliminated.
Just got bounced. It's all my fault.
Oh, man.
It's really all my fault, though. My playing partner was significantly better than almost anyone here, honestly. I just did not carry my weight in the last round. I think I hit 2 cups. It's not going to get it done when you're getting to the Sweet 16. So
Yeah.
disappointing finish, but it's okay.
So when Todd invited you and told you about this event, what was your thoughts?
We got to bring as many of the FT fam as we can.
And you did.
We brought a good crew. We got about 10 of us here. I think we have 4 teams. They're all out. I think so. We made it through 2 rounds. One of our teams, we're matching up. Right. We had 2 of our teams against each other in the first round. So our crew, carried it the longest. But when he told me about it, I was like, it's awesome. And do we know this is the second time, right? Second year.
Yep.
So I remember looking at clips and everything from last year and was like, that's cool. I like that because whatever. I'm not a golfer, so
it keeps evolving.
We got to switch it up and do things like this that brings in more people. Right?
Agreed.
It's not everybody golfs. Yeah. So baseball players love to golf. Brilliant idea to do something like this.
Awesome. So you get a little bit of the Jersey flavor because you're here a little bit, and then
I grew
in
up
Florida.
Here.
Yeah, right.
More in New Jersey over here. I mean, come on.
Right.
Sorry, Sky kind of snuck in.
No, you're here. That's fine. I can play both sides here.
That's why we put you in the middle. It makes us feel more comfortable.
I've done it. No, but I grew up in Warren, New Jersey. Went to Watchung Hills Regional High School and haven't been back since. No, I'm kidding. But then I lived in New York City for a while, and now I'm primarily stationed in Orlando near one of the other Foul Territory hosts, AJ Przynski. So we run things during the week down there in the studio.
That's awesome. Let's go through Foul Territory. You're coming up on a year now, right?
Getting close. So we launched publicly in March.
That's right.
That was the launch. So March 1st, right for the World Baseball Classic. That's why we wanted to make sure we were on for that, which was awesome. And so where are we? So we're like, 8 or 9 months in?
Yeah.
We're like basically ready to pop out a kid. That's about it. But it's been awesome. It's been a blast. Todd obviously loves it. We told Todd he would love it because I've been working in more of like the generic legacy media television for a while. And I was like, you'll like parts of that. But I said, this is more you, where you can just sit down, have a conversation like you're having an Italian, pasta dinner with your buddies. And you're talking about what's really going on in the clubhouse. That's what we wanted to create. And I would say the news aspect of it popped up and became more relevant than I thought it would, as in our fans want to hear from different writers and insiders that talk differently or aren't allowed to be as free and open in, say, a digital show podcast format like what we have going on.
I think that was the best part is it felt, of course, it wasn't scripted. It was very free. You guys asked everything to what seemed like everybody. Is there anybody that you didn't get to talk to this year?
There's
that
a couple
you really
on our
wanted
list
to?
For players. In the baseball world, managers, some GMs, I'll give you the list, like a top 5, okay? 1 or 2 owners. I want to talk to John Fisher, the owner of the Oakland A's. Percentage chance that he'll come on. I think if I offered him $1 million, maybe he'd come on.
Sure.
He clearly loves money.
Needs it.
He needs it, right?
Yeah.
He's hurting, as he told his fans the other day.
He's not donating like we are today.
Exactly. He's not coming here ever. So him, I would say one of the cool owners, like the late Peter Seidler, who just passed away, would have been cool, or John Middleton from the Phils, one of those kind of guys. And then player-wise, we got to most of the big boys, and obviously some of the players that are the most charismatic, funny. They're more of like your mid-range average ball player, but we haven't gotten Judge on the show yet. Should have him soon. I would say early next season. And Bryce Harper, same thing. He's aware, so we'll pick the right time. I would say those 2 are high on the list, but otherwise, I mean, Trout and Mookie, and we've gotten a lot of the cool guys that we want to bring on. Also, by the way, Trout, for many people, they'll be like, oh, he's kind of quiet, he's shy. He was pretty fun with us. And I will say, because we don't hold things back, like we were going through some technical issues with internet. We were doing our show on location.
Casino.
Yeah, and there was just an internet situation, and still when I watched it afterward, because it still worked, I was like, damn, he was really good with the guys. He was different. He's sitting there not tight, not tense.
No, it's like on his porch, right? Or something.
He's on his porch, and he's like doing one of these, like, gosh, it's ridiculous. Everyone's throwing 99. No, it's not like it was when I came to the league, right? And just that comfortability was really cool.
Yeah.
My favorite moment was Pete Alonso saying he was about to shit his pants.
Yep.
What was your go-to? I know it's like your baby, so it's hard.
What the best moment is?
Yeah, for
I mean,
you.
that one stands out. That was probably the most super viral moment of the year, especially from a player.
Yeah.
So that one stands out because what I tried to explain to some players too is when that story comes out, you look at ESPN or some of these other social media accounts that have been around for a while, and I look at the comments and you'll see people like, I'm from England, I don't even like baseball, but this guy's my hero. That's gold. I'm like, there's so much of that. There's people that love you that don't even know they love you. So that kind of story is perfect for that. I would say for me, just some of the topics that I wasn't able to talk about in the past because I would work for the league or be on TV. So Oakland A's situation, I would say, stands out quite a bit. What else? Controversial topics that pop up in our sport, which happens like almost every week. Rule changes early in the season, the sticky stuff. It's like you forget. It feels like a million years ago, but Max Scherzer getting booted from the game.
And now he's a champion.
And Scherzer actually came on 2 days before that.
Yes, it was your
and
fault.
was bitching about how, it was our fault. We were like conspiracy theory, and Ump was watching, and he got you. But that kind of stuff's really cool, where they can come on and not hold back. Max, I think, is supposed to come on Monday because he's still pissed about the way that they're tweaking the pitch clock. He thinks that it's leading to injuries, and he thinks they're talking out of their ass, basically saying, we're trying to keep guys on the field, but also we're not going to consult with pitchers when we're changing rules. So I'm like, air it out, dude. I want to hear. And even if people disagree with you, because there were many pitchers that didn't want a pitch clock, and they were wrong. I mean, a pitch clock's cool. It makes the game flow go. They were wrong. But still, if they are passionate about it and want to talk about it, like, I want to hear their side. Why not?
I mean, and that's the best part about your show. My favorite is, and I said this the last time we had you on, that I love hearing about the arbitration. I want to know what happens behind closed doors. I want to hear every little detail. It's amazing to me. They just lay it all out, and they really are. They're ruthless with some of these guys. It's unreal.
Arbitration would be one of the best reality shows. It is insane. The Corbin Burns case is fascinating because we have him on all the time, and he was genuinely pissed. And he ended up switching agencies too. So basically, they went in there into the fight, the other side, the Brewers, and their top weapon was, we didn't make the playoffs. Now, this is 2 years ago. We didn't make the playoffs because Corbin Burns, who was one of the top pitchers in baseball that year, wasn't good for like 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, we lost like a few games that we should have won, as in saying like they should win every game that he pitches. And that's why he is not worth that number and he's worth this number. And they won. And he was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Is this real? Because I wasn't a 2 ERA for 2 weeks. That's what they're pointing to. I was more shocked. I'm like, did they not have a reply? The reply is, oh, I'm sorry. What happened to the other 23 weeks that we had? So those kind of conversations are crazy, and guys get pissed. And it's a weird process. It shouldn't exist, but it does. So we want to hear about it.
Yeah, amazing. Imagine in a relationship or even your job, like you actually had to go through that. It would be absolutely nuts. Yeah. It's like, listen, like I love you, but like you can't.
But you're terrible. Hey, you're our best pitcher. You've done everything for us.
Yeah.
We're about to sit in a room with you and tell a panel that doesn't even watch baseball how terrible you are for a few hours and see if we can get you for a cheaper rate.
Because it even bothered Jeter, his documentary. Like he was
pissed.
Like clearly pissed. Like
this is why I don't understand. Like if you're on the league side, why you don't come up with a better way to go about that.
Yeah, they should not hear those conversations, in my humble opinion.
Not only that, should we even be doing it?
No.
Because if you're going to spoil Derek Jeter, Corbin Burns, go down the line of stars to their team, is it really worth it? Is it worth fighting over $1.5 million in a quote courtroom? I think a lot of times in sports, we act like we can't change things. Like, I'm sorry, what? Was it, I don't know, written on the 10 Commandments or something? Like, it's sports. You can change anything. It's just for fun. And if it's a positive change, then change it.
It's been there for so long. That's the way we've always done it.
That's what they say.
Terrible.
Past precedent. I'm like, that's a legal term. This is not law. This is sports. This is entertainment. This is fun. There have been proposals where the league wanted to make it all by a number system, and then the players rejected that because they thought they'd manipulate that. And that's fair. I'm like, really, I think guys should get the free agency quicker. Like Bobby Witt has to play for like 7 years of his life in Kansas City and make money compared to the superstars that are playing around him. I'm like, I don't know. It just seems like a long time before you get rich. It hurts our sport. Sorry, I'm rambling, but you got me going. So Kyler Murray, remember, he was drafted by the Oakland A's, okay? And he was seriously considering both sides.
It would have been Oakland, right? He would have had
Can you imagine Kyler Murray would have maybe just been getting up to the bigs on the Oakland A's making $700K? I looked up the other day. He's made like mid $200 million, like $250 million. Think about it. We're not putting the best athletes in a position to succeed. We will push the other side. Like, look at Giancarlo Stanton's contract. He could be a football player. I'm like, yeah, but you have to wait a billion years for that. It doesn't really make sense because young players can be the best players in the league.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what we talk about. That's why I like to the last 30 seconds I just gave you, I would never have been able to say a year ago. So that's what I love, to have those combos and then hear the players do it.
And I think that's why the show was a hit right off the bat, and why people were just glued to it, is because they were like, holy shit, we've never heard this before. At least from, former members of the professional media and players and all that other stuff. No. You did a whole bunch of live shows, Atlantic City, you hit up a couple ball clubs. What's planned for this coming season? Which ball clubs you hit?
Working on it now. So, yeah, we were in Cincinnati. We were in Citizens Bank Park. We did a couple minor league ballparks, which I definitely want to do more of those, too. I think that's cool. And my first gig was with the Somerset Patriots, the Yankees AA team, which wasn't the Yankees AA team back then. It was
not even 2 years ago.
This is like 20 years ago.
Like, it was an unaffiliated team. Yeah.
Atlantic League independent, and it was great. Like, the community loved it. It's still... they're
still
thriving.
The Yankees did Trenton Thunder dirty. You know that story.
You can Google that. There's a whole
that's not
going on. Yeah. So well, some teams just got cut.
It's business. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for Somerset to not get cut, they weren't affiliated.
They
got dropped.
They got promoted.
Trenton, they got promoted, and then they added Trenton to the demoted teams. That's dirty.
It is.
That's baseball, baby.
Oh, and trust me, I love reading about all that stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of dirt behind the scenes with that. But for Somerset, great organization,
great ballpark, better ballpark.
Yes, better ballpark. It's run well for years by the same people. So anyway, I started there just for one season. I was like their on-field host when I was like 18, and so we went back to the ballpark there and did shows. Kratz threw out the first pitch. I ran one of their promos. So I want to do some of those at minor league parks. And then, so I'll give you the big target that we're working on right now is spring training. How many park camps can we go to? Because the players love working with us, so it's easy there for access. And even if some of the teams, the teams have been great with us for the most part, but if there's a team that's like, I don't know, I don't want you guys to do a whole show there for the day, we'll just call one of their star players and be like, hey, we're coming through. Because we're not inappropriate either, as you guys know. Like,
right.
I think there's a line nowadays where you've got a few media companies that exist that want to talk about, dating life and whatever, and try and mix in some sports to it. It's not my cup of tea, but the next level down of like edginess, where you're just actually sitting down talking to the guys or the girls like about what's going on in the game, that's what we're doing. So that's why we've been friends with kind of everyone we're working with. Nobody has a problem with what we're doing right now.
No, you're not TMZ.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
We are not like, oh, who are you dating? Like, none of that crap.
And it's so enjoyable for the players that anybody else you ask, they get a good reference. They're like, yeah, no problem.
Exactly.
I feel like even spring training, I feel like you guys can show up and you can stand right in the tunnel and interview people. And no one would bat an eye. It'd be perfect.
That's the plan. So, and it makes it easy because you're really only in two spots. Florida, you got to drive around a little bit more. We actually did one show from spring training, our second show ever. Adam Jones, who's one of our guys.
He was at the Mets Club.
Insane.
Yes.
So Adam's like, hey guys, because he was booked for the show that day. I forgot. I got to go to Mets camp. He works for BAT, which is another charitable organization. They do great things. And he was like, what am I going to do? And we're like, screw it. Let's try and do the show from there. Day 2. We're still getting our tech and whatever figured out, and we did it.
Yeah.
He did the show there with Lindor and Edwin Diaz. And here, I'll give you another one that stood out. So day 2 of Foul Territory's existence, Tommy Pham is sitting next to Adam Jones, and he's like, tell me more about what happened there. And he gave another layer about how he was sending warnings to Jock Peterson about it. And I guess that wasn't really known. So that went pretty viral and got a lot of attention in the press, and that was a nice little start for us. So it was an accidental fall right into Mets spring training with one of the most outspoken dudes. So I'd like to do more of that, because guys are also way more relaxed in spring training.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, especially if you're a veteran, they're going through the motions and they're excited. I mean, even when I worked for MLB, when we would do the 30 shows in 30 days thing, we'd show up there, and a lot of the time the players were like, "Oh, cool, like something different today," you know, because it's a month of kind of monotony.
I believe it, man. I mean, dude, Scott Braun, we love what you're doing. We love Foul Territory. We love everybody else. AJ Kratzky, of course, Todd, and everybody else. Keep doing it, man. We look forward to watching all this stuff. Thank you for coming out for this benefit to help out Todd, and of course benefit the Children's Specialized Hospital of New Jersey, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. You guys are doing great things. I know you put a lot into this very day itself, and I can tell anybody that's just watching or listening that's not here, you should come next year. Great vibes. There's a ton of people here. When I first walked in here, I was like, whoa. Yeah. You know, because I've been to quite a few charity events with players. Like, this is unique. So thank you guys.
Man. Frazier does things the right way. You know that.
Because he gets involved. He puts himself into it. It's not just, hey, you set this up and I'll show up for an hour. It's like, yo, I'm in. I'm grabbing the mic when we're trying to do the show. That's
the maestro. He's got it going. You know, that setup he's got is insane at his house.
It is. Which made it easy for us to do shows there, you know? Because that's the other thing. We want players to be able to do shows from their homes, which should be a thing, you know? Like, if you made a lot of money, you're a player, been on the road your whole life, can we set up a home studio? These guys have most of the time big ass setups at home.
Of course.
Do we need to drive everybody to, like, where I was, Secaucus, New Jersey? No one wants to. Hey, I'm from Jersey. I can make fun of Secaucus. I'm sorry. It's not the most exciting place in the world. It's hard to get prime time, like, players that made money, that have big personalities, be like, hey, want to spend half the year in Secaucus away from your family? I know you just played and made a lot of money.
And Cliff you in that with you, right?
Yeah, Cliff and me would hang. But even those guys, like, they don't want to be there. If I told Cliff, hey, I'll set your studio up in Miami, right, or in South Florida, wherever he is, he's in either Fort Lauderdale or Miami, like, or even in the city, he would ask, like, can we do more stuff in the city? And they're like, nah, it's too expensive. So set them up with their homes. Anyway, appreciate you guys. You guys crush it. Your tech setup is incredible, and thanks for putting all this together.
Well, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah.